Hey, everybody. Happy Freaky Friday from the Podcast Daily. Yes, bold predictions are back. Getting ready for one of the most scintillating matchups in Big Ten history, Ohio State and Iowa. And we are going to forecast it, as we always do, with some spicy takes that are sure to be correct on Saturday at noon in the Horseshoe. That is Berm and Bill. I am Austin. We also have, of course, a couple of guests. We are going to talk again to the undefeated number one ranked women's hockey team later on in the show. And we also had Luke Wypler pop by for a little bit of non-football talk, but he's a little bit of a robot, so it wound up being about football and preparation anyway. So you can look forward to those in the middle of the show, sandwiched around a couple bold predictions from each of us. And then we'll get to some score predictions at the end. That's the format of the show, just in case you're watching it for the very first time.
If you are watching it for the first time, let us apologize in advance for what you're about to see.
And here.
And probably here.
All right.
I mean, I think we should apologize immediately for Austin so emphatically enunciating the C and scintillating. I've never heard it pronounced that way. And
No, really?
I wasn't sure if it was intentional or not, but I liked it.
It was.
It's a double entendre.
It's the Wyoming dialect.
Oh, I've never.
That's how we pronounce it.
That makes sense. I think it's weird though heading into this weekend. Like Iowa, I've seen them by some metrics has the number one ranked defense in America. Ohio State, obviously, by other metrics, has the number one ranked offense in the country. And normally that'd be a matchup would be like, wow, something's got to give. But like, no one cares because Iowa's offense is literally the worst in the country. And so any fear that there is like a potential upset percolating in Ohio Stadium on Saturday is sort of washed away by the fact that Iowa's offense is so bad that nobody can take it seriously.
Well, also, it's the worst offense in America against the number 8 total defense in the country. Yeah. That's not very even.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's happened before. Do you think that's happened before in the history of college football where the number one offense plays a top 5 defense, and in the same game, a top 5 defense plays the worst offense in the country?
I would venture to say it has not.
Yeah, that wasn't research that we did this week because I believe the spread is still 27. So just about everybody knows that this is still not a like-for-like battle here on Saturday in the Horseshoe. So that'll make for some great bold predictions, I think.
Yeah, one thing I'm interested in is how teams prepare when they have an off week. And what's interesting to me is that Ohio State and Iowa have played, this will be their 8th matchup in the last 18 years. And 4 of those times, Iowa has had an off week before playing Ohio State. And I wonder how that's happened so frequently, but also does it help Iowa? And we saw it help them certainly in 2013 when they really came into Ohio Stadium and gave a good show. But I don't.
Wasn't Ohio State off the week before that too, though?
I think so. Yeah, it's just a weird dynamic of that these two teams seem to meet when there's an off week for either one. And I don't know if it's like you guys each have all these vowels in your state's name. You just have to. Like, I mean, is it a rule? Like, you got too many vowels, guys. You need to take time off and cool down. You know, like hot vowel action. That's vowel for life.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, Berm. You didn't know that was in the Big Ten bylaws?
Hashtag VFL, vowel for life. First bold prediction. I'm going to go a little bit surprising and generic here, but it's also oddly specific. Iowa, of course, as we said,
it's surprising and generic, but also specific.
Yeah, that's how we roll on BPs on Freaky Fridays. You just don't know what you're going to get. So, however, you personally out there, America, take this prediction. It fits right into there thing. Woo. Again, Iowa has the worst offense in football, but their starting quarterback has taken every snap all season long. And I'm going to say this: Alex Padilla is going to start for Iowa at quarterback and not Spencer Petras.
Ooh.
That's my first bold prediction. And I think
I like that.
It's just something that Iowa has no chance. They know that they're going to have to do something different. I think they're going to come out and play a different quarterback that Ohio State and no one else is expecting them to play. Even their own media people who are mocking Brian, Ferentz for saying, what's the upside of playing a new quarterback when you have the worst offense in football? I could think of one upside. Maybe your offense wouldn't be the worst in football. So I think they're going to come out and try to pull the old switcheroo and start Alex Padilla at quarterback.
That's pretty good. That's like low key pretty spicy. I don't think Ohio State fans realize how spicy that is.
I like when Berm makes his first bold prediction and just burns it on the very first play of the game so that he's either right or wrong right off the bat. Usually wrong. The opening kickoff is going back for a touchdown. Oh, okay. Well, that one's gone. Bye-bye.
Well, I can't be quite as good in my bold predictions as this Lemon Perfect is, but I'm trying.
Is that coconut?
The coconut's blue.
No, it's blueberry acai.
Okay, good.
Acai? Scintillating.
Yeah, this is the all pronunciation episode. Nobody knows how to say anything.
So my turn?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to do this one first because I'm pretty sure if I don't, Austin's going to steal it.
Oh.
Sonny Styles will have an interception in this game. And it's just that. I don't think it's going to score. I'm not predicting a defensive score, but I think we're going to see the Sonny Styles bigger personnel package that Austin was so kind to ask about and remind me of on Thursday during Ryan Day's lightning round. And then I took that idea and stole it for a bold prediction. So Sonny's going to play, I think, quite a bit, probably more than we saw him play against Wisconsin, because I don't think he's going to make a special teams blunder that gets him pulled out of the game. And in the course of playing quite a bit, he will intercept one of the intended passes for Iowa's tight ends that are its only offensive weapons of note.
So I guess I telegraphed it and allowed it to be picked off by Bill because I picked Sonny Styles in the midseason stock watch to buy on Wednesday. Then I asked Ryan Day about the packages on Thursday. You can tell what I expect could be happening in the second half of the season for Sonny Styles. But now I have to hope that he just waits a week so that Bill doesn't get a free win in bold predictions.
There's strategy to this now. I'm just going to try to guess what you guys are going to guess and then pick them before you can pick them.
Yeah, that's well done. Okay. I believe that the nation's worst offense against a top 10 total defense is a mismatch. I just believe it. Call me crazy, but that's what I think.
You've got to stand for something or you'll fall for anything.
Ohio State will hold Iowa to 88 total yards of offense in this game. 88.
It's low.
Is the number. I have nothing else to say about it. They're just not good, and Ohio State, I believe, is good.
That's Eric Lindros's jersey number.
Go Birds.
That's right.
Okay, that's all I have to say about Iowa's offense. Berm, what do you got?
88 is low.
Yeah, you bet it's really low.
You better believe it.
I'm gonna again try to stay away from individual player statistics for this game right now because I'm not ready with that yet. But Iowa is one of the worst teams in the country, and I mentioned this on Snap Judgments on Wednesday night as far as run efficiency. I think they're like 124th in the country with their offensive line ranking right now, which is crazy because you think about Iowa and you think about two things, and it's defense and offensive line. And they're, I think, 119th in stuff rate in the run game. And I don't think that's good for them against a defensive front that really gets into the backfield a lot. I think Ohio State is going to have 12 tackles for loss against Iowa. They are going to absolutely blow up the backfield for the Hawkeyes. And the only way I was going to be able to move the ball past at 88 yards, I think, is like quick screens to the tight end or tight end delays or something that is going to be just designed to say, come get us and dump it over their head, because they are not going to stop this Ohio State front seven from getting in the backfield. 12 tackles for loss for Ohio State. And I will drill down and say this. 4 of them will be from JT Tuimoloau.
Berm, here's my question. If Iowa had the off day to cook up anything they wanted, and their answer to try and beat Ohio State are quick screens to the tight end?
Well, they have 3 tight ends that can catch the ball, so it actually becomes a very difficult proposal. Which of these 3 tight ends do you cover? How can you cover them all at once? Because as we all know, the tight end is always open. So now take that always open, multiply it by 3. That means the tight end is always open times 3.
Okay.
That's math.
Well, I guess I can't argue that.
Do you know anyone that's ever personally covered a tight end?
Yes.
I don't. Never happened. Tight end's always open.
You ever heard of Pete Warner?
No.
Yeah. Ask Michigan.
Tight end's always open.
Boom. Roasted. We're done.
Berm, we're having a bit of a mind meld here with our second picks. Not only is Iowa's offensive line terrible in the run game, they are also terrible in the pass game. They are 110th in the country in sacks allowed per game. They're 126th in standard down sack rate. They're 99th in passing down sack rate. Ohio State has not had double-digit sacks in a Big Ten game since 2007. They will have 10 on Saturday.
Whew. We should have just done this whole show and read off all of Iowa's stats because they're hilarious.
No, you guys know I'm not like a big analytics guy, but I was just looking at this matchup. Like, this Iowa offense is so historically bad that I felt like we had to at least research a little bit into what exactly is causing this issue. And aside from
Brian Ferentz,
yeah, but like they're so bad on all levels that it doesn't make sense to just blame the play caller. Like, their offensive line is awful. Their quarterback is terrible. They have no one that can run the ball, and their wide receivers are like Charlie Jones, who was their best wide receiver a year ago. I was like, nah, I'm just going to transfer to Purdue. Like, you're like, what is going on here? It's very peculiar because this is a program that's pretty proud and has been pretty good for the last 2 decades, and I can't fathom. I saw on Twitter on Thursday an Iowa website selling a shirt that says, man, my brain just crapped out of me. You know the word? Oh, nepotism. It said "Stop Nepotism" in black, in a black shirt with a big yellow letters, and they're selling it out of an Iowa website. So, like, I can't blame it all on Brian Ferentz, but like, boy,
well, he's also the offensive line coach, isn't he?
Yeah, I know.
No,
so I
remember
they
told
a lot
us
of it on him.
That's what he did well, and as Scott reminded us on Thursday,
right.
Scott Docterman, they moved him to coach quarterbacks, which, of course, you should do with one of the best offensive line coaches in the country, which Brian Ferentz was, and he played offensive line, not quarterback, by the way. And then what happened? That was the only thing he was good at.
I'm telling you, though, if you go back and look at their offensive line performance in the last 5 years, it's not been good. Like, it has actually been pretty bad. It's been lower third.
Tell that to
football.
the Joe Moore Award Committee.
No, they won it in 2015, but they've been terrible in the last 5 years. So I don't know, man. Nepotism's bad.
Right.
Bill, you better drill down on that. Yeah.
Yeah. So 10 sacks, 3 for Mike Hall, 2 for JT Tuimoloau, 2 for Zach Harrison, 2 for Jack Sawyer, and 1 for Caden Curry.
Ooh, Caden Curry getting a little run.
A 10 banger. I love it. I am actually surprised that they had 10 sacks in a game in the Big Ten as recently as 2007. Who was that against?
It was Wisconsin. They did it last year against Akron, but the last Big Ten game was 2007 against Wisconsin.
And Northwestern is still in 2 weeks, so they might just do it again.
20 banger.
20 sacks.
That wasn't what I meant, but maybe. Can't rule it out. Northwestern is equally bad. We're going to have as much fun with that one as we are this one. How about I'll shift over to the Ohio State offense, and I will predict that Mayan Williams will return to the lineup and finish off 4 red zone trips with tutties. 4 touchdowns for Mayan Williams. I was so impressed with the run that he was on, even before the 5 touchdown explosion, and getting that opportunity to go solo in the backfield when Travion Henderson was hurt. He's running at a different level. As I've said many times, a lot more than I expected before. I think he deserves credit, and it should be pointed out the way that he has attacked this season and fought for playing time and earned it. And he's no fun to tackle in that scenario down there at the goal line. And I think he will bowl over that Iowa front. And as I said, make it 4 touchdowns for Mayan Williams. Those are the first 2 bold predictions from all of us. Let's take a break and hear from some Buckeyes, 1 on the football field and 1 on the ice. And we'll be back to wrap up this show after that. All right, taking a quick break from Freaky Friday Bold Predictions on the podcast. Normally this would be the off-campus segment, but it's time that we finally do a little fun conversation with somebody actually on the football team. So Luke Wypler is hanging out, a guy who knows how to have a good time, I think, right?
Yeah, no, I've always loved a good time. It's nice to kind of take a break from all this. So, yeah, no, always.
So do you ever really unplug? What was an off week like for you? I know you still had practice, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, normal week there, but then what happens?
For us, for me, really, Thursday, we got off 3 o'clock. I was able to hang out. relaxed a little bit. And then Saturday, I actually went up to Cleveland for the Yankee game.
Okay.
So got to watch my Yankees. It was a tough one, but it was a really cool atmosphere to be a part of up there in Cleveland. And even though I got booted out of the stadium, it was a tough one, but it was a cool atmosphere again. And so it was a good time. But yeah, no, I was just doing things that you normally wouldn't get to do during the normal week.
Wait, so there weren't enough Ohio State fans in the stadium that you couldn't be immune to the booze?
No, actually, I was wearing a Yankees jersey I had with like Wypler on the last name, and I'm walking like down the stands, and people are like, "Wypler, you stink." So yeah, I don't know if they thought I was a player, if they recognized me, but yeah, it was a tough night to say the least.
Well, I mean, you were trying to help them. Like,
yeah.
Hey, this is the Buckeye here.
I know. I was trying. I don't think it did much though.
Okay. Well, what else you do up there in Cleveland?
Oh no, that was about it. We just hung out. Really, it was a good time just to see them play. Me and a few guys went up to the game. So yeah, it's tough loss though.
Yeah. Well, it's a good season for them.
Yeah,
but it's football season.
It is.
I don't think you're watching a ton of baseball, are you?
Well, at night, that's kind of been my routine. I go home and just something to put on the background. I like to watch the Yankees. They usually 7 o'clock, get home, catch a few innings while I watch film. So just kind of a nice little background music.
Okay, your reputation, Luke, since the first time we met you, at your high school in New Jersey, was that you were studious, watching nothing but film. And then you told me before we started filming, like, you're not caught up on any of the new shows. Like,
yeah.
Do you turn all of that off, other than, I guess, the Yankees?
Yeah, pretty much. For me, I mean, it's football. I mean, Coach Day always talks about, like, what sacrifices are you willing to make for this team and to get this team where it needs to go. And for me, I mean, I want to sacrifice anything that's not in this building and what I need to do to get my job done to perfection. So for me, I haven't watched Game of Thrones. I'm dying after the season to start that. And Hard Knocks. I mean, all these things that I'm kind of just missing out on, but they'll be there when this is all over.
So, I mean, do you even, this may sound ridiculous, but like, you can eat in here, you can get all your meals here. Are there any things that you're doing once you get into season? It's like, I'm putting away the iPad for a minute. I'm going to go out to eat something somewhere I like.
Yeah, this weekend, actually, me and my girlfriend, we went out to dinner. We went to the Blue Jackets game, so we did some things just to kind of relax. So, I mean, like anything, when you have downtime, I like to do things. I like to eat food. I mean, I'm a lineman. There's a few good places I've been trying around Columbus. I found one of the best Italian food places in Grandview a couple weeks ago. So there's things I like to do outside of football.
You're an NIL expert. You can say their name.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, La Trivola. It was really good. I think it was First Ave in Grandview. So if you're around, check it out. Yeah. But yeah, it was really, really good food.
We asked you this going into camp, and I know you're so focused on football once you get into the season. How do you manage, you still want to maybe be involved in NIL opportunities, and how do you manage that? Are you active in that once you get into the year or not?
Not really. Just things that I already have going. I try to just keep football to football. NIL opportunities will be there after the season. So for me, I don't really try to focus on them too much. Just keep up with the ones I already have going.
Okay. You're walking into the stadium on Saturday. What's going to be in the headphones? Or
a little AC/DC, Back in Black. That's usually my go-to walk-in song. And when we enter the stadium, that's kind of what I like to bump into. So, is
that the same since high school, or has it changed over time?
It's been very, I would say so. I don't remember what I even listened to in high school. So, AC/DC, rock and roll, really anything to kind of get you going a little bit.
All right. Well, you'll be back in that stadium Saturday at noon. I know you're looking forward to it. Had a good off week.
Great off week.
But now back into it with a bunch of practice, ready to get rocking.
I'm happy to be back, that's for sure.
All right, second half of the season. That's Luke Wypler joining us for a little look around campus on a Freaky Friday. Thanks to Luke. Back to the rest of the show.
All right, we're taking a break from football again for another high-profile matchup on campus, the highest profile matchup on campus for Ohio State this weekend. Actually, it's the number one undefeated reigning national champion Ohio State Buckeyes on the women's hockey team, OSU Ice Rink, this weekend in a championship rematch against Minnesota Duluth. Friday night at 6, Saturday at 3. We have Sophie Jakes and Jen Gardner joining us. Ladies, thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you for having us on. We're really excited, I think, and just looking forward to the weekend.
Seems like this must be just the biggest rivalry on the team. I mean, Sophie leads with 11 points. Jen, you're trailing right behind by 9, so you two must really have the juices flow and try and top the other. Is that how that works?
I think it's more of a team effort. We both want each other to succeed out there. So the more points the team has, the happier we are.
Jen, what has it been like working with a defender like Sophie, the run that she has been on, second in NCAA history a year ago. She's picked up right where she's left off. What does she do? What is it like being on the ice with her when she's racking up points from that position at the rate that she is?
I mean, Sophie's such a great leader. It's funny talking about her while she's on here with me, but I mean, yeah, Sophie's got such a good shot and obviously has been a key part to our power play. And I think we've just had so much success through all of our team working together in the defensive zone, offensive zone. And I think that we're being rewarded for our chances. So it's really good to see. And Sophie's obviously been a huge part of our success. And it was so awesome to see her get the recognition she deserved last season as well.
Sophie, now you have to do the same thing and say something nice about Jen. And she's got 7 assists already this season, so it probably won't be that hard.
No, yeah, definitely. Jen's a great player. I mean, she's one of the fastest players I know, if not the fastest. So having her speed out there and just her hockey sense is great. And she's a great part of the team, and we love having her around.
What has been through 6 games, Jen, something that has surprised you about this team, or something you all have learned in this early part of the schedule, if anything? I know last year was obviously pretty good as it was, but anything that's kind of stood out to you through the first 3 weekends?
I think it's just been exciting so far, just getting all the new freshmen familiar with how things work here and building off of our success last season. So I think everyone's been doing a really good job of helping the freshmen adapt and get used to our culture here. So I think we'll just continue to build throughout the rest of the season. And yeah, we're really excited for how the team's going to do.
So if it does a series take on any additional importance when you know what Minnesota Duluth is capable of and you've seen them in big games before? I know you want to take everyone the same and treat every opponent the same, but we know that isn't really how it always works, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think this is a really important weekend for us, and I think it's our toughest game so far. So it'll be a really good test for us, and I think it'll be a good way for us to show the work we've put in so far. And we're super excited to have the games on home ice, and with having it be alumni weekend as well, we're going to have a lot of fans out there. So we're just super excited to get to play in our rink.
What does this team like to do when you're together off the rink, Jen?
Everyone's always hanging out. We all live together. All of our houses are really close together too, actually, but we recently celebrated Canadian Thanksgiving. So for all of the Canadians, just have our American teammates and Swedish teammate contributing everything. Everyone's bringing food, and it's just such a family here. Everyone's always together, including the staff, and it's so real and genuine off the ice. I think that's what leads to our success on the ice as well.
What all was on the table for Canadian Thanksgiving?
We had everything you could imagine. There was probably like 20 dishes of food, and family, friends, staff, everyone was over. So it was awesome. But stuffing, turkey, you got everything.
Does that make it feel more like home, Sophie, for those of you that have come across the border down here?
Yeah, definitely. It really gave a good Thanksgiving experience, and just to have everyone together and celebrating is just great, and that's all that we could ask for.
So, I mean, you got a big weekend coming up, but isn't everybody in these houses, are we excited for Taylor Swift to come out at midnight, or is that just me?
I know in my house specifically, we have Quinn Kuntz and Kenzie Hosworth, and they're huge T Swift fans. So They've been looking forward to this.
Okay. Oh, good. Well, it's not just me then. Just wondering if it was going to be on at the OSU ice rink tomorrow at 6:00. I mean, that would make it even more appealing, but
yeah, we'll have to let the staff know to make that our walkout song tomorrow or something.
Yeah. Doesn't seem like you two are as excited for it as me, but that's okay.
I can't say I'm a Taylor Swift fan myself. I don't know about you, Sophie.
Yeah, no, haven't really got into it, but
okay. Well, who do you two listen to?
Country.
Yeah.
Country. Okay.
We just went to the Keith Urban concert a couple weeks ago. It was really fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I like the sound of that. So before you get back to getting ready for this weekend, so I like to give everybody an opportunity in the name, image, and likeness era to make their pitch. Like, you get to have some sponsorships. You may already have some, but if there's one that you want a deal, now's your chance to make your pitch. Jen, who should sign up with an NIL deal with you?
Well, just being a Canadian in the realm of things right now, we can't really actually sign in the States. So it kind of has thrown us off with that sense. So yeah, we're limited there.
Well, that's going to ruin this segment for me. I do it every week. What if you could? What would you want?
Gosh, I don't know. I would have to think about that. I'm not really sure. Sophie, do you have an answer to that one?
I mean, for me, probably with my favorite food being pizza, some type of food sponsorship would be nice.
Now we're
but,
talking.
You know.
Yeah, probably some food or clothing of some sort. I think practical things.
Sophie, what have you found to be the best pizza in Columbus?
Oh, that's a hard question. There's like so many different kinds of pizza places that like I kind of like a lot of different places. I really like Bren's Pizza, that one takeout place. That's really good. One of my top ones.
Well, I did not know that there was restrictions for NIL for Canadians, and that's got to be corrected. That makes no sense. You're an NCAA athlete. Let's get it going.
Yeah, I think we're allowed to sign with Canadian companies and receive benefits only when we're in Canada, but I'm actually not 100% sure on all that. So I just know that as a Canadian playing a sport down here in the US, we're not able to. So.
All right. Well, we're going to start beating the drum here and get that fixed. Canada, listen up. We've got some national champions that need some sponsorship dollars down here in Columbus. They're going to be back on the ice. That's Jen Gardner and Sophie Jakes. Appreciate both of you so much for hanging out with us for a couple minutes. Again, it's a championship rematch with Minnesota Duluth for the number 1 Buckeyes, Friday at 6 p.m., Saturday at 3 p.m., OSU Ice Rink. Don't miss it. Ladies, thank you again for your time.
Thanks for having us.
Right, thank you.
All right. Thanks to Luke Wypler, Jen Gardner, and Sophie Jakes for taking out some time to bring a little bit of normalcy to Freaky Friday. And now it's back to the weirdness in Berm's third bold prediction.
You guys know Jackson Smith and Jigba is going to play on Saturday, right?
What?
That's what I've been told.
Seems pretty likely that's going to happen. I guess we shouldn't say it definitively. And with the return of Jackson Smith and Jigba, that means the Ohio State offense gets to do some fun things. And one of those fun things is to have more uncovered or solo covered Marvin Harrison Jr. And I think that leads to problems for people around the country. I think we are, I've been on the Mecca Buka train all year, and generally my BPs are Mecca tinged. This case, I'm going straight Marv because Iowa does one thing pretty well, and they do a lot of man coverage, but they haven't had to try to man cover a guy like Marvin Harrison, who is not really capable of being covered by one person. 4 touchdowns for Marvin Harrison in the passing game on Saturday. 4 touchdowns on maybe only 4 catches, but he's going to score 4 times.
Oh,
he is a touchdown machine.
You said he's getting to 27 this year, Bill. So I need to.
I sure did.
This has to start in earnest this week. 4 touchdowns from Marvin Harrison through the air, all of them from CJ Stroud. Maybe all in the first half. Who knows?
Oh my! This drill down. He keeps drilling down deeper, and it gets bolder and bolder.
Do you want to describe the plays?
It's a molten hot core of boldness.
Yeah, I can describe all 4 touchdowns in one play. Throw it up to Marvin Harrison. He makes a catch that he shouldn't make, and somehow we all go again. And then after the game, he goes, eh. And then everyone's like, oh, wow. And he's like, eh. And that's how it works.
I liked on Wednesday when Marvin was asked the question. It was like, Marvin, you say sometimes you surprise yourself. Did you surprise yourself when you caught that ball in your shoelaces? And he's like, no.
Yeah, he said, yeah, like that one. I've done that a lot of times before. Like, okay, sure. Yeah.
Normal.
Very normal thing to do if you're an alien.
Do you guys remember the catch from Noah Brown at Oklahoma in 2016? Which catch do you think was more improbable? The catch from Marvin at Michigan State or the catch from Noah Brown? When he did have 4 touchdowns. That was a 4 touchdown game for Noah, right? So last time an Ohio State receiver has done that. So, but I agree. The Noah one, like he literally caught it around the guy. He was hugging him. It was like
there was a human being between him and the ball, and he still caught the ball.
Yeah, it was like a tender moment, and before everything went haywire.
Hold me closer, tiny corner.
Wow.
Clip it.
That's a Noah Brown banger.
Mark that one.
What producer are you pointing at?
Oh,
the one who lives in Berm's basement.
Cool. Last bold prediction from Bill.
I think that it will be slightly difficult for Ohio State to finish drives in this game. I don't think in the end that they'll struggle to score. I still think that they're going to put up a nice number, but Iowa's defense is legitimately very good in the red zone, and I also think there might be some rust to knock off for a guy like Mayan Williams, possibly even Trey Henderson, and maybe a couple of drives stall out. So my bold prediction is that Noah Ruggles will attempt 3 field goals in this game, which is the most he's attempted on the season. He's only kicked 3 field goals this year, and I think hasn't done it in like the last 2 games. Like he is on the team, but they haven't had to use him to kick field goals. But he'll attempt 3, he'll make 2.
Wow,
37 yards and a 42-yarder right before the half.
So how long is the miss?
Prediction. Yeah,
the miss will be. I think they're going to be fairly long attempts. I'll say the miss is from 39.
What
2 misses for Noah Ruggles on the season, and if that happens, which would outdo his number from a year ago. Just saying.
Bill wants to bench Noah Ruggles. You heard it here first.
You heard it here.
Okay. Ohio State will also score only once on defense. I was going to go 2, but then that doesn't really add up with my score prediction. I didn't think that through as well as I should have. They're going to pick off 3 passes. They will return 1 for a touchdown, and that will be done by Lathan Ransom, who I think Bill's made this point several times over the last couple of weeks, and I really was banking on a huge breakout season for Josh Proctor. I didn't anticipate that Lathan Ransom would be playing at this level so quickly, so efficiently, so well in every phase really of what they asked for that safety position to do at Bandit. He has been phenomenal, and that makes it harder. It's nothing against Josh Proctor. I think it's just a mark of how well Lathan Ransom is playing. So he will take a pick 6 to the house as part of what I expect will be an Ohio State win. And we'll get a score prediction. Well, I'll just go first while I'm at it. I think it's going to be 38-0 Ohio State.
I think I said 38-10 on Monday. I'm going to attack a field goal into that, 41-10 Ohio State.
41-10. Okay.
I don't remember what score I picked on Monday, but it doesn't matter because Monday was so long ago. 48-10 will be the final score on Saturday at Ohio Stadium. Ohio State will, of course, have the 4 touchdowns from Marvin Harrison in the passing game. 1 defensive touchdown. I agree with that. And then you're going to see 2 banger of running scores from the Buckeye tailbacks. So there you have it.
I believe that's known as a double ding-dong, bro.
Oh, correct. But anyway, however you get there, it's 48-10 Bucks, 38-point victory over the worst offense in college football
history.
Okay.
Potentially.
It's well on the way. It's on track, as they say. It's going to put up some record-breaking numbers this year, just not the kind that you want. That game, of course, is Saturday at noon. We will have full coverage of it, as we always do, on the podcast and at ohiostate.rivals.com with dotting the I's. Come hang out with us. Either way, however you want to consume this content, we appreciate you watching, listening, reading, and interacting with us. Hope you enjoyed this. Thank you again to the Buckeyes who joined us in the middle for a Freaky Friday, and to Bill and Berm for putting up with me while I continue to dominate bold predictions. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you from the Horseshoe.